Yo, what to do? What to do? Is there anybody in here? Can you hear me? I don't know. Can't see anybody. What's good, man? We are watching the Chicago ball drop. We are minutes away from dropping the ball in Chi-Town. Shut up. Happy New Year to everybody. I know I was late. I was late.
What it do? What it do?
Sweet. Y'all can hear me.
Can you hear me? I don't know. Can't see anybody.
He's back. Oh, don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. What's good, Green? What's good, man? We are minutes away from New Year's. Trying to watch this ball drop. Navy vet. Happy New Year, my brother. Happy New Year to my guy Graham, Candy Angel. Appreciate y'all pulling up last minute. I was trying to come in here. I had to make some pancakes. That was my that was my New Year's Eve um dinner was pancakes. So yeah, now I'm nice and stuffed. Are we ready to talk some football? Watch this ball drop. Again, shout out to everybody. Happy New Year. Well, I guess we were gonna watch the Chicago ball drop, but now it's not working. Yeah, I know on the East Coast. I know, but I'm on Central Standard Time, man. So I still got 1 minute. 1 minute before before it's New Year's here. Yes, it's New Year's in a lot of other places, but for me, and if you're on the East Coast, happy New Year to you already, belated. Um, but if you're on the West Coast, man, you still got 2 more hours, and I don't know if I don't think I'll be here that long. So early Happy New Year's to y'all. And I was gonna try to watch this ball drop with y'all in Chicago, but we will just close out of that because that is not working at all whatsoever. And it's lagging big time, man. Oh, it's already January. Yeah, I got to that. I got to that. All right, man. So let's get into it. Let's talk Raider football. We're gonna talk about this roster. We're gonna break down the roster. I know you've seen the title, so let's get into that. Right, Sunday, first the Kansas City Chiefs arrival. That hasn't been much of a rival because we haven't been much of a competition for anybody in the division the last 2 years. But the Kansas City Chiefs come to town trying to spoil our chances for the first overall pick. The Raiders might counteract that with some more, benching. We might get to see a lot more of these rookies. But as far as the, first and last, this is more than likely, it's 99% Pete Carroll's first and last game of 2026, right? Happy New Year. And hopefully that's the case, right? Hopefully this is the last game Pete Carroll coaches for the Las Vegas Raiders, but hopefully it's the last game he coaches in 2026. Also, this might be the last time we don't see Gino because he's got an ankle injury. We'll see if he shows up on the sideline. Max Crosby didn't, Brock Bowers did. There was other guys out there like Colton Miller that didn't get to play. JPJ, right? All those guys were on the sideline injured. No Max Crosby. So we'll see if Gino shows up to support his team. And if he doesn't, he should definitely be down the road. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, right? It's been a horrible, miserable year for a lot of people that thought it was going to go better, right? Pete Carroll was going to come in. He was going to change the culture. He was going to bring in the blueprint on how to win. And none of that seemed to none of that seemed to happen. So, what was I looking for? Um, yeah, you can hear the fireworks, you can hear the gunshots. It is now New Year's here. 2 minutes past There'll be lots of fireworks going on, lots of booms, lots of bangs. And I hope everybody prospers on New Year, this 2026. Right? With the internet, with all the money to be made all over the world, I hope everybody gets a nice chunk of it. We are going to all right, so the Las Vegas roster, I'm getting to it. Looks like this: 23 free agents, 32 cats already on the books. Oh, lottie dottie, Las Vegas Raiders. This is taking forever. Ever. All right, here we go. And if this starts lagging, let me know because everybody's home. The internet is not great where I'm at. It already looks like it's lagging on my side as soon as I did that. So maybe we won't pull this up. Furpo in the building. Raiders. That's the first Raiders of 2026. Furpo in the building. It's about time we got one of those. It's about time we got one of those. Oh, not invite, bro. Not invite. Let's share the screen. Right, this one. Let's go with window. What do we want to go with? We want to go with this one. Mm-hmm. All right, here we go, man. So I don't know what this little bottle is right here. Why it's not going away. All right. So what we're looking at is Geno Smith, man. Ugh, $40 million. Golly. Dead cap hit, $58 million. Absolutely ridiculous. The Raiders are going to eat a lot of money if they move on from Geno Smith. El Capitan. Happy New Year to you, man. Hope you have a blessed New Year's and a blessed 2026. Malcolm Kuntz is on the books for a $10 million cap hit, which he's only got a 1 year, so that doesn't matter at the end of this year, right? He will be a free agent. Tyree Wilson, man, $6 million on the books. Tyree Wilson has not hit, right? He has not been that guy anybody expected him to be, or even close to what some of us didn't expect him to be, right? As far as that goes. $6 million, I think, is too much money to wait for Tyree Wilson to possibly be something, right? You got guys like Caleb Von Chasen over there making what, 3 or 4 million for the Patriots. Yet we still cross our fingers and hope and wait for Tyree Wilson to do something or be somebody. So if I'm the Raiders, I'm moving on from Tyree Wilson. I'm not waiting, right? It's whatever you can get from a 5th round, a 6th round, if you can even get that at this point. But for that money, man, you just have to move on. What is cap hit, dead cap hit, cash total? All right, cap hit, dead cap hit. I got to remember that. I don't know why it don't stay on the screen. It's only 10 p.m. here in California. Yeah, you got 2 more hours. But happy early. Ashton Genty making $6 million. Yeah, you're keeping him. Daniel Carlson, you're keeping him. Alex Kappa. Oh, why my nose gonna start running now? Alex Kappa, $5 million. Now, the way he played at center, if he's willing to restructure his contract, I know he's not a free agent. I know he has 1 more year. But if he doesn't want to restructure his contract, hold on, man. I got to get some toilet paper. Jesus. Oh, if he doesn't want to restructure, $5 million, it's not bad for a backup center. But if that's the case, you're starting JPJ or you're going and getting a center in free agency. Either way, I'm down with either one. He didn't play too bad at center, right? And he could be serviceable. the cap hit is the same, 55. So shit, you lose money. We lose money if we get rid of them than to pay them. So I don't know who structured that in. Actually, I do. It was Spytech. Some of these contracts I thought were good didn't turn out too good. AJ Cole and Daniel Carlson also is a name that we might have to talk about, right? It's about time to have that conversation. Is Daniel Carlson Oakland Raider? No Oakland Raider. Is it time, Rick Whitson, my guy? Appreciate you. Is it time to call it quits on Daniel Carlson? The numbers haven't been great. He can't hit from over 50. The numbers have been horrible. And I know he's a Raider. I know he's an Oakland Raider, and there's not too many of them left. However, I believe it's time. I believe it's time to find somebody else, whether it's probably not many people in free agency, right? So you'd have to go, try to get somebody in the soccer field and teach them how to kick, or you have to draft somebody. And looking at the kickers coming out in this year's draft, there's nothing special, nothing to talk about. Dylan Parham for $3 million. Now I think he's earned his worth, right? Because we found out with Antonio Mafia playing in his spot last week was brutally ugly, right? It was brutally ugly, and yes, he a big huge guy. He had his moments, right? It wasn't all bad, but it didn't look great, right? It didn't look Dylan Parham great. So Dylan Parham is a guy that could possibly bring back. And if I'm the Raiders, you need depth in the NFL, and depending on what your outlook is of the future, if you're going to hit big in free agency, if you're going to draft more guys, then you might want to, let Dylan Parham walk. It was his contract year. He's going to be a free agent, so people are going to, there's going to be offers out there. Adam Butler, man, we got that $16 million bag. It's an $8 million dead cap hit. $6 million total in cash this year is I'm not willing to pay that, man. I know I was big and I talked a lot of shit, on Adam Butler's side, but this year he just hasn't impressed me. And I don't know if it's been the coaching staff, and I'm pretty sure it has to do a lot with Pete Carroll. And maybe, if it was just PG, Patrick Graham in the building, Adam Butler and the rest of this defense might, look a lot better. But with Pete Carroll's hand in it in the cover 3 40% of the time, it's just not a good look, man. It's just not a good look. And I think we can do better than Adam Butler in free agency for the price. So I would try to trade Adam Butler. He's on the books for 2 more years. If you could get something for him, cool. But if not, I might just cut my ties with him and pay him. It's just taking up a roster spot. When you look at Jonah Laulu, when you look at Tonka Hemingway, when you look at JJ Pegues, when you look at I guess shit, that's about it on the offensive line. I mean, on the defensive line, right? If you look at those 3 guys, and if they, Tyree is still on the books, then if you bring back Malcolm Kuntz, right? I just don't see a spot. I don't see a spot for Adam Butler. And he hasn't, since he got his money, he hasn't really shined or done shit. So the next up is Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes is $3.5 million. I think he definitely lived up to that 100%, every single penny. I'm really surprised that he was not, in some kind of talks for the Pro Bowl, right? He locked down his side. He gave up the least amount of yardage, the least amount of touchdowns for us, and was pretty much a lockdown corner. And I believe if he was in a better system where it wasn't cover 3 as much, that he might have, some more turnover, might have some turnovers on the year. I know he didn't have no picks, but I'm keeping Eric Stokes. Landon Roberts, E-Rob, right? There was a reason. There's a reason. Nothing against the Landon Roberts. I like his attitude. I like his grit. I like his toughness. but I think his age is physically catching up with him. There was a reason the Pittsburgh Steelers moved on from him. The Raiders thought they were going to sneak up in there and grab him another Robert Spillane from the New England Patriots. I mean, from the Patriots, from the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it just didn't quite work out that way. He's not a Robert Spillane. Robert Spillane was, you know, had way less years under his belt and a lot more to prove. Rob, he's been to Super Bowls, he's been to plenty of playoffs. He's getting up there where that time isn't as valuable, I guess. Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer, I believe we've talked about this at the beginning of the year and last year. I really have still high hopes for Michael Mayer being that guy that could be a Brock Bowers. And you could have two Brock Bowers. They just don't pass him the ball enough. He's not in the playbook enough. He's not featured enough. But when he is, we seen last week with Brock Bowers out, Michael Mayer healthy, he was the best player on the field, right? He was the best player on the field. Him and Jack Besh were the best receivers we had. He can block. He can do all the dirty work. You can put him in the backfield, as a blocker, as a fullback. They just don't use Michael Mayer right. And hopefully this new coaching staff comes in and they know how to get the best out of Michael Mayer and, put other teams in bad positions where they don't, where they can't just key in on the run and hit Ashton Genty in the backfield with three defenders every single time. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Landon Roberts, I'm not bringing back. Kenny Pickett, $2.5 million. It was a steal, right? Somebody can use him. He's still serviceable. I just don't feel like it's with the Raiders. Raheem Mostert looked good when he got on the field, right? It wasn't constant, wasn't all the time. But when he got his reps, he made the best of them. And I thought he should have got a lot more looks. I wouldn't be mad bringing back Raheem Mostert, 1.5 mil. But you're going to have to move on from Dylan Labe. You're going to have to bring up Collier. You're going to have to do something because we need to draft another back or get another back in free agency. We need a 1-2 punch, not just a one punch, right? One punch, unless you're a bad motherfucker, you ain't knocking everybody out. So you need more than a one punch. You need 1-2 punch combos, right? And I don't think Raheem Mostert has been that. I know they didn't feature him enough to see if he could be that. But with the age, I wouldn't be mad if he came back. Ian Thomas. If it's up to me, it's Carter Runyon, right? Carter Runyon, I think, has more upside, has more value in the passing game, can block, he's physical, another guy you can put at fullback. He's going to open up holes for your running back. And I think Carter Runyon would be just a better long-term situation than Ian Thomas. And nothing against Ian Thomas. He's had a couple plays here and there, but it was just nothing that really stood out or flashed. I seen him just get destroyed when it came to blocking. I don't know how many times he was on his back. It was, seemed like it was more than an OnlyFans girl when it came to blocking, being that, second tight end or third tight end, whether it was 12 or 13 personnel or when Brock was out. Just Ian Thomas never really impressed me. Trey Tucker, it's time to have this talk too. I know Trey Tucker is in his contract year. I do believe this year, not this year, but the following year, 2026. And I think Tucker, for as much as he's given to Las Vegas Raiders, I believe that you probably got to keep Trey Tucker, right? He's got, like you said, he's under contract. I would try to trade him, put him out there in some trade talks, unless whoever you bring in as a coach or an offensive coordinator have a plan for Trey Tucker where they can use him like on jet sweeps, on reverses, on double reverses, right? Plays that's going to get him the ball in the open space because of his speed. But the problem with Trey Tucker is it's not his speed, it's his elusiveness, right? He's not very crafty. He's not very shifty. He's not very hard to take down. And for that reason, I just don't feel him being an asset to the Raiders by keeping him, right? We need to revamp. We need to, some people say a hard rebuild. I don't know how hard you want to get, but there's only 32 players left on this team, and some of those need to go. And Trey Tucker possibly could be one of them in the offseason, unless you plan on keeping Aiden O'Connell. They had a good connection, the best connection that Trey Tucker has had with any quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders. So Trey Tucker, Jack Bech, man. Jack Bech has to be featured a lot more. Definitely a serviceable, number two. And I really believe that under the right staff, right? If you bring in a Sean McVay, or you bring in the passing game coordinator for the Rams, right? If you bring in somebody from that offense style, somebody from a Shanahan tree, you're gonna see 49ers are rebuilding, but they're about to make the playoffs. I don't know why you'd rebuild. But shout out to you. So Jack Bech, man, I feel like Jack Bech needs to definitely be featured more in this offense. And again, if you bring in, depending on who you bring in to be the offensive coordinator, I think Jack Bech could possibly, you know, like I said, be that Puka Nakua type guy. Not the fastest, but runs damn good routes. He's going to win the 50-50 balls, the 70, 75-25 balls when you're throwing to him. And Jack Bech, I think, is way farther along than what this coaching staff and Patrick and Pete Carroll led us to believe, right? Lonnie Johnson. I was big on Lonnie Johnson. I thought this was going to be the turnaround for the former first round pick, right? And he just can't tackle. He's just not. I think after the injury, it looks like he's a little timid to get in there. He's not the same guy he was before the injury, or before the other injury, or the other injury. And I know he said he wants to be a Raider for life, but he just hasn't shown me nothing. So the fact that the Raiders have 93 guys in the offseason that you can bring in, I'd give Lonnie Johnson a shot. I bring him in. Let him be that guy, to fight for a spot. Zamir White, done. Jacob Bobmeyer, done. And then you're going to talk about them. Darian Porter, and if you don't know, Jacob Bobenmeyer is the long snapper, has been the long snapper for a couple years with the Raiders. Just hasn't worked out, right? Hasn't been that dude. Decamarion Richardson, God, needs a chance to compete, man. I'm keeping Decamarion Richardson. Aiden O'Connell, 1.16 mil, man. I've talked about this a million times, where this Raiders team would be and how far along they would be if they would have just played Aiden O'Connell. And you look right here at his price tag, at what they're paying him a season, and what they paid Geno Smith, and this team could just be so much farther along, bro. So much farther along. Caleb Rogers should be a starter. Charles Grant should be a starter going into next year. Dante Thornton should be the fourth or fifth receiver. And we got to put guys in front of them. Darnay Holmes. Bye-bye. Tommy Eichenberg definitely needs to be put up there and put in positions during camp to see if he could be that, that Mike linebacker to run the defense, or to run the defense and be that guy in the middle. I like Tommy Eichenberg. He's shown flashes last year before he got hurt. He's shown flashes this year when they put him out there. He's not the great in coverage. And, I think if he had more play time, he'd be a lot more inclined to be a little bit more involved on the scheme that the offense is trying to run. It doesn't look like all the time he's all the way there. But I really like Tommy Eichenberg, and I think there's a lot of upside. Jamal Adams at $1 million. I'm bringing back Stone Forsythe. Now, this is going to shock some people, but depending on how they go, right? Depending how appreciate you, my guy, Navy Bet. Depending on how they go with this offensive line. Do they go with Charles Grant on the right side? Do they keep DJ Glaze as a backup? Do they, move DJ Glaze to a guard spot, which I don't know why you would do that because I think we have a lot of guards that could really play this position if given the opportunity and coached well. So Forsyth, I would keep around through camp, right? I'm not cutting this dude. He hasn't been the greatest, but he's definitely a guy that, if somebody gets hurt, he can come in and play half-ass. What about hiring Jerry Reese, formerly New York Giants champion team, and trying to hire Pete Carmichael, Denver and New Orleans Saints, our Lombardi grandson as coach? Um, I don't think the Raiders are messing with anybody named Lombardi anymore. I think that's off. Pete Carmichael. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Thomas Booker. Whew, man, we did not get the best of that trade, right? Did not get the best of that trade at all. Um, Jacorian Bennett has given up 4 catches for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, you could say he was hurt a lot and hasn't been on the grass, but he's only given up 4 catches for the Philadelphia Eagles. And he's been a lockdown corner when he's on the grass, man. And just another guy that Pete Carroll came in and gave away because it didn't fit his scheme and he thought he was going to be the guy for 3 or 4 years. It's another reason Pete Carroll needs to be fired Sunday. Don't even want to wait till the Monday press conference. I would love to hear it Sunday. But Thomas Booker, there's no reason to bring this man back. I don't know what they signed him to. Let's see how many years. He is signed to. Where we at? Where we at? Where the hell we at? Come on, man. Go over. Fucking Thomas Booker. Aha. Here we go. Yeah, 2026. So we ain't got to worry about that. Another guy I would not bring back. Tristan McCollum, 26 years old, man. I would give this dude another shot, right? We've seen not much of him at all. And I know that's another Pete Carroll problem, but he's a guy that, is serviceable, a guy that could be on the practice squad or even possibly make the roster when given the shot. I know he took the place of Chris Sims, Chris Smith the third, which now is with the Rams. Just another Pete Carroll mistake. But Tristan McCollum, like I said, you have a 93-man roster. I'd bring him back, let him compete. Tonka Hemingway's a rookie. We ain't got to worry about him. Dylan Labe, you're going to let him compete. Snowden, you're going to let him compete. Jonah Laulu, JJ Pegues, Cody Lindenberg, Will Putnam. Let's get to Will Putnam, right? A lot of people were on his ass because he didn't play well. I think it's a product of this coaching staff. I'm not going to say it over and over and over again anymore because hopefully they will be gone. There's one game left. And hopefully, you will never hear Raiders Rebel say the word Pete Carroll, Brennan Carroll, Geno Smith, or Nathan Carroll ever again. And, that would be great if I never had to mention those names. So Will Putnam, I'm bringing him back, right? I'm bringing him back because it's another guy that he has that dog in him, bro. He has that feistiness, that fire, like a JPJ. Again, I keep bringing this up, but 2 off seasons ago, he was a guy that got in a fight with Robert Spillane in camp because Robert Spillane was getting pissed off. He was being too physical in practice, right? So, yeah, that Will Putnam. So, with a little bit of teaching, I believe that Putnam could be a damn good center. They tried to put him at guard. It's not his spot. But center possibly could. So I'm bringing him back. I'm letting him compete. Alex Bachman. I'm bringing Alex Bachman back. I love the Alex Bachman story. This man is not even making enough money to live in Las Vegas by himself. Well, I mean, I guess you could live in Las Vegas for $400,000 a year because I lived there for 22 years of my life. And I only made like $100,000, $120,000 a year at the time. So I guarantee you the man could live on his own, but for what he's making in the NFL, just over. He's making $800,000 by the time you pay taxes, which there's no taxes in Vegas, right? This man is not making a lot for the little bit he's been out there. He lives in somebody's guest house in Las Vegas. Doesn't even have his own apartment or room. He drives a rent a car because he doesn't want to, buy a car and then have to ship it across country if he doesn't make the Raiders and ends up with another team. So, Alex Bachman, he's made some damn good catches for the Raiders. When Aiden O'Connell was the quarterback, when Gardner Minshew was the quarterback, he's made some pretty good plays, and he's had to do a little bit for us, and he hasn't folded, right? He's done well. So I like Alex Bachman. I'd bring him back, let him compete. John Rattan, Pete Carroll guy, gotta go. Tyler Lockett, Pete Carroll guy, gotta go. Carter Runyon, we talked a little bit about him. Under a mil, $650,000. I'm keeping him. Grady Vance, only making $200,000. That's an absolute steal. I don't even know how you get a guy to sign in the NFL for $233,000. I think there should be a limit. I mean, these guys should get at least $1 million. I believe should be the bottom of the barrel. But you got guys like Jafari Harvey, a UDFA, making $93,000. Like, bro, I made more than that set and tile when I was in Vegas. So that's rough to be an NFL football player and only be pulling in 93. And then by the time you pay your agent, by the time you pay taxes, man, you getting cooked for Jafari Harvey. So Greedy Vance, I'm keeping Chagazi. I don't even know how to say dude's name. Chagavi Anasim. I'm bringing this back. I'm bringing him back, bro. I liked what I seen out of him last week. I really liked his physicalness on the sideline. He was the one that was on the sideline getting kicked and elbowed and, had 3 or 4 Giants beating on him or whatever they were doing, holding him down while the other dude was stomping his head. Feisty dude, right? Feisty dude's got that umph to him. And I like Chagazi, so I'd bring him back. I'd take a look at him. For the price, it's absolutely ridiculous, and you're kind of stealing him. Broderick Martin, a defensive lineman that we still haven't seen get out there, show us anything. We keep bringing in these guys and putting them on the practice squad that have already played in the NFL, and we're not doing shit with them. The dude's 26 years old. He's been around the league, and we just bring him in, I guess, just to bring him in. I don't know, but haven't seen much of Broderick Martin. Terrell Edmonds, what we've seen of him has not really been impressive at 28 years old. We're moving on from that. Antonio Mafi, again, like I said, a dude that has struggled to say the least. Where are we at? This is the active roster. Where's the free agents? All right. Hold up. Antonio Mafi, for the size, right? He's like 320 pounds. If he could just learn technique, he could be an anchor at the guard position, a damn good backup. When somebody gets hurt, I'd keep Mafi around. If you get a good offensive coordinator and a good offensive line coach, if you run power, man, if we run power zone would be, the way to go with Ashton Genty and Mafi. I think he's strong. He's physical that way. I just don't think he's good, in a zone scheme as much. Cedric Jackson, the great nephew of Bo Jackson. I mean, how can you not bring him back? First ever play in the NFL was a touchdown. I mean, you gotta bring the cat back, right? And then Jafari Harvey, like we talked about. I want to see Jafari Harvey get on the grass, man. I want to see this dude get some burn. Shout out to everybody that's popping in the building. Happy New Year's to y'all. Make sure you hit them likes. Injured reserve, we got Max Crosby, Colton Miller, Jeremy Chin, Brock Bowers, Jackson Powers Johnson, Jordan Meredith, Caillou Blue Kelly, and Brendan Jackson, who I do believe. Oh, Brendan Jackson is hurt? No, that's Broderick Martin. Um, that's what happened to Brendan Jackson. I was wondering what happened to him. I was wondering what happened to him. Practice squad players. We have Philip Dorsett, not Anthony, not Tony, which I always get confused, but Philip. Philip to the Dorsett. Shout out to the Raiders for bringing this man back. I don't know why he's not running kickoff returns or punt returns with his speed, his quickness. I think they got him at the wrong spot. So I would like to see him be pulled up this week and get a little burn, man. I like Philip Dorsett. I thought he played well with Cam Miller. I thought he played well with Aiden O'Connell. Albert Okawambin, big giant tight end. I'm moving on, man. I'm moving on from the practice squad. DJ Turner. DJ Turner, I did not even know was back with the Las Vegas Raiders until 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, at 200. Wait, that's his cap hit. What's his contract? Total cash. But man, for the price and the things that DJ Turner can do on the gridiron, it's just a tragedy, bro. That DJ Turner has not been on this team. He was signed, I guess, over a month ago. Somehow I missed the signing. I thought, I'm pretty much up to speed on everything the Raiders do, but somehow this one slipped through the cracks, and I did not realize that DJ Turner was on the team. But what I really don't realize or understand is how is this man not on the roster, on the 53-man roster? DJ Turner was a dog for us, and I was upset. And I try not to get, too attached to players. But I was pissed off when they let him go last year. I don't know if anybody else was mad because they got rid of DJ Turner last year. Let me know. Get a thumbs up in the chat. But I really thought that DJ Turner was going to make this roster, and just the kick return, the punt return presence, right? They didn't use him for that shit either when he was here last year. So, man, DJ Turner, I would really like to see get another chance. I thought he helped his team a lot 2 years ago. Dalton Wagner, my Arkansas Razorback, I would like to see get some burn this week, right? We're playing the Kansas City Chiefs. DJ Glaze has been absolutely just not it. He has regressed in every single situation. Run pro, pass pro, zone, inside, outside, it doesn't matter. DJ Glaze has not been the guy. So I want to see Dalton Wagner, bro. Bring up Dalton Wagner. And let's see him get some burn, man. He did well in the preseason. He looked better than Thayer Munford, which is why they released Thayer Munford and didn't even try to trade or get nothing for him. But they kept Dalton Wagner. And this stupid-ass coach, his son of Pete Carroll, Brendan Carroll, will not put this man on the field. And I don't understand why he hasn't been called up yet. 3 years on the practice squad. If you haven't learned something in 3 years, if you're not good enough to come in as a backup in the last game of the season that we're trying to lose, then why do we have Dalton Wagner on this roster, right? Arkansas boy or not, you're just taking up a spot for somebody that can develop. So the Raiders need to figure out a lot of shit. And one is what they're going to do with players like Dalton Wagner. Chris Collier showed us an awful lot in the preseason. This year, he showed us some at the end of last season when he came in, got a little burn, right? He showed that he could be that bowling ball up the middle, low center of gravity. He runs with power. He runs physical. He keeps his feet moving. He's got pretty good vision, pretty patient runner. I liked Chris Collier, man. I really like Chris Collier. And you think being on the practice squad all year, going up against the number one defense, that he would develop into something. But if he hasn't developed into something yet, then we really need to start looking at Joe Philbon. We really need to start looking at everybody on this offensive line that has anything to do with developing these players, right? Because they're not developing the way they should. Now, people keep saying this roster is trash, but I'm looking at these players. And if you go back and look at their college history, all these guys were dogs in college. They come to the Raiders and they just can't seem to get grass time because there's no consistency with the coaching staff, right? It's in and out, a new coach every couple months, it seems like now. Lackey Tassie, a gigantic human being, right? Um, he's on the exempt list on the practice squad, which is good. Is he the only one on the exempt list? Damn. So the fact that Cam Miller is on the practice squad and he's not on the exempt list and nobody's tried to take him or bring him up with all the shit that's gone on in the NFL and all the quarterbacks that have been hurt kind of says a lot. Kind of says a lot. Do the Raiders move on from Cam Miller? I mean, a year on the practice squad is not a lot to develop a player that's drafted in the 6th round, but it's enough to show you something, right? Because if you look at the Colts, they drafted Riley Leonard after, I do believe Riley Leonard was drafted after Cam Miller, which is absolutely just, just ridiculous to even think about. And Riley Leonard will be starting for the Colts this week and could be out there to look to, pull the upset. The dude is a dog. He can run the ball. He reads defense as well. He's in the playbook, right? He's smart. And he's getting the start. But however, Cam Miller will not. And Aiden O'Connell and Kenny Pickett will be battling for the preseason type game in week 18, which is pathetic. So Lackey Tassie, Cam Miller, you got to keep Cam Miller just to see what he has. But I feel like Cam Miller just might, end up being another Carter Bradley, where the guy doesn't get to develop, doesn't get to learn, and the Raiders just bring in a guy and move on. Lackey Tassie is on the exempt list, which that means you can't steal him, I believe, off the practice squad. Trevin Trevin May Mae Trevin Mae is a flipping dog, bro. This kid was a beast in college. I don't understand why this man has not at least been brought up to be put into games when we're down 0-31, when we're down 0-31 again, when we're I don't understand why these young men are not on the roster. Instead, we have roster guys that we keep bringing up over and over consistently to just sit there and they do nothing. Layden Robinson is a guard. I have no idea who the hell he is, what he does, where he came from. Brought on the practice squad. We have heard nothing from him, right? Nobody's asked about him, if he's coming along, if they plan on using him. Carlos Basham Jr., another linebacker. I did not even know that was on this roster, on the practice squad. Justin Shorter, time to move on from. Jamin Davis, they brought him up. He didn't play well. They released him. They brought him back to the practice squad. And I think it's just because they need bodies on the practice squad and they're trying to bring in guys that are familiar with the roster. Brendan Rice, Jerry Rice's son. I mean, you would think if you're going to bring this dude in that you would at least give him a shot, man. Put the dude on the grass, right? Give him a shot. McClendon Curtis, I didn't think looked too bad in the offseason. But again, it's just another guard, and it seems like we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Jesus, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 guards on this team, bro. 7 guards on a team that is not in the offseason with a flipping 93-man roster. Why in the hell do we have 7 guards on this team. Like, and none of them, except for Caleb Rogers, has been worth a shit. And JPJ before he got hurt, but he doesn't count. So McClendon Curtis, Joshua Miles at right tackle. I do not know anything about Joshua Miles, but I'm definitely gonna do some homework on this kid and see if he's serviceable and why the hell he's not out there. We brought in another long snapper in Luke Elkin, and I'm hoping at 23 years old that Luke Elkin can take Boheimer's job because I just don't think he's helped our special teams. I think he has a tail when it comes to snapping the ball, and I want to see what Luke Elkins can have has. So Brandon Hill at safety, another guy that we should be checking out. Dead money. How many people actually know this or ain't even looked at this? If you've seen this on any other channel for the 3 people that are in here, let me know. 6 people, however many people is in here. The dead money cap. The Raiders have $24 million on our books for Christian Wilkins. We all know what happened with that whole Diddy situation. The Raiders, I bet most of y'all didn't know this, right? And shout out to all the ones that called Devontae Adams a diva and said, "Oh, Devontae Adams needs to go. We need to trade Devontae Adams." Well, we traded Devontae Adams. He leads the NFL in touchdowns still, and he's been hurt for the last week and a half. But Devontae Adams, yeah, that 33-year-old diva, the Las Vegas Raiders are still paying him 50, 15, 15.5 million dollars. So we traded him to the Jets for a 3rd round pick. They turned around and got a 3rd round pick and didn't have to pay his salary, but we're still paying his salary. This is what I'm talking about. The Raiders organization not being able to run an organization and make business decisions. They listen to, content creators that have a bunch of followers and, yell and scream and make a bunch of noise. But we should have never, ever, ever, ever traded Devontae Adams. You should have never traded Derek Carr or released Derek Carr. But Devontae should have never been traded. They should have figured it out, made it work, and all they would have had to do was start Aiden O'Connell over Gardner Minshew. We wouldn't be having this conversation, and we wouldn't be owing $15 million to a receiver that leads the NFL in touchdowns somewhere else. Jimmy Garoppolo, yes, we're still paying Jimmy Garoppolo 12.8 million dollars. I believe this is the last year. Jacoby Myers, we're still paying $9.5 million. So yes, he got a $60 million contract, but a lot of the people wanted Jacoby Myers gone. Time to move on, right? He didn't want to be here. The Raiders are still paying him. Garbage Minshew. The Raiders owe him $7 million still. Andre James, the Raiders owe him $7 million still. Jermaine Pratt was a stupid damn release. I don't know why they released Jermaine Pratt. He goes over to the Colts. He's over there murking it. They still owe him almost $4 million. Amari Cooper, this motherfucker comes in, practices for 4 days, and says to the Las Vegas Raiders, just like he did to the Oakland Raiders, $1.75 million. They still owe to Amari Cooper. Leaky Fotu, who they just released, they owe $1.3 million. Chris Smith, who they also released because of Pete Carroll, they owe 700,000. Byron Young, yes, the wrong Byron Young that the Raiders drafted, who the other one is killing it right now for the Rams. They owe $250,000. Justin Shorter is still on the roster, still on the books, but they owe him 4. They owe Terrell Edmonds 28. Greedy Vance, Mafi, the rest are pretty much just $100,000 or 2. But what it all comes down to is, fuck, they still got so many guys, bro. Holy shit. Mark Davis is a clown, dude. Who is running this organization, man? I'm gonna have to redo this live when there's more people that are interested in this. Because 3 people. Appreciate every one of y'all in the building if y'all still there. But damn, we're gonna have to go over this again in another time because this is disgusting, dude. Jacorian Bennett still paying $200,000, not on the team. Brian Asomo, almost $200,000, not on the team. Ja Joyner, almost 150,000, not on the team. Jeff Briscoe, 100,000, not on the team. Albert Okinawa's on the team. Jamin Javis is still. Anthony Booker Jr., not on the team. $100,000. Gerard Hufford, which I thought was a damn good serviceable center. They released, still paying $100,000. John Humphreys, 92. JT Woods, $91,000. Leroy Watson, Amari Burney, Davonshire, Parker Clement. I wish was still on this team. He was definitely a serviceable tackle. You're gonna hear Parker Clement's name a lot more. Joseph, they got rid of. Tommy Malott, they got rid of. Jalen Walker, they got rid of. I mean, all these guys, dude. Hudson Clark, they still owe money to. Samir Franklin, Britton Brown, Amari Gaynor, Carter Bradley, Jake Johannan, Jaquan Shepard, Dominic Boyd, Andrew Coker, Ron Stone, Brad Robbins, McClendon Curtis, Michael Bennett, Zach Carter, Sincere McCormick, Andre Carter II, Thomas Harper, dude, Gialabi Adizi, Ove Oglafo, Sam Webb, Kadir Ismail, Matt Jones, bro. The Raiders are paying all these fucking people. DeMarcus Wu Governor will still get a check for $343. DeMarcus Wu Governor, who I had on my show, I talked about, I thought he was going to be around on this team for a long term. They still owe this dude 330. Just pay the man his money. Mark Davis, Jesus. Come on, man. Why are you dragging all this shit out? That's nuts, bro. So, yeah, they need to pay all these fools their money, bro. So, total cap hit. Where the hell did this go? What happened? The fuck? What the fuck? All right. I just lost my spot. That was crazy. What the hell? So total cap is $300 million for the Raiders. That is second in the NFL. Man, shout out to that. Shout out to that. So, looking at all these guys, bro, the Raiders have a lot of roster moves. The Raiders have a lot of roster moves that they definitely need to get into. But let's look at some more shit. What else we can look at? What else we can look at? What else we can look at? Drop us, drop us, drop us, drop us, drop us, drop us, drop us. Man, does everything have ads? Fuck all these ads. Even if I pay for this shit. Projected overall rankings. Ruben Bain. Let's go to all, right? So here we got projected overall ranking. We have Ruben. Where the fuck did it go? Oh, I hate this stupid website. It's not gonna let me split it on two screens. That's some bullshit. Well, I fuck you then. Let's do it like this. Prick ass shit. Man, what y'all think about Miami putting the beat down on Ohio State and knocking them out of the championships? So this overall draft projection has Ruben Bain Jr., who played damn good tonight against two pretty solid offensive tackles. Caleb Downs is projected to be number 2. Dante Moore, quarterback, number 3. Peter Woods, number 4. Fernando Mendoza is projected the 5th best prospect in this draft. Can the Raiders really take a chance at drafting the 5th best prospect in the NFL draft at number 1 just because they need a quarterback? My answer, you already know. It's no. It's no to the no. Let's look at some of these cats right here. All right, I'm going to have to do this different. This shit ain't working again. Fuck my life. Position rankings. What the fuck is over this thing? It's pissing me off. Come on, man, quit playing with me. Quit playing with me, Tim. Some bullshit. Boom. All right. So the number 1 ranked defensive prospects, of course, are Ruben Bain. But let's talk about Ruben Bain, man. All scouts have him average at 4.5. His height is 6'3". His weight is 275. All scouts have him number 1 at the position. But is he really number 1? I mean, you have a guy over here like Keldrick Falk, who's 285, who's 6'6", who has the exact same 40 time as Ruben Bain. And I believe when it gets to the combine that you're gonna see some different shit. I don't know if Ruben Bain could just win, like I said before. If he could just go out and dominate the NFL like he does college football. If you look at his height, right, it is in the brown. I guess that's a brown, a dark red, kind of an orangish color. 32% is his height. Weight, of course, is green, solid 275. 40 time is also green at 4.7. I just don't see that being fast enough in the NFL, bro. Don't see it being quick enough to get to the quarterback against these dudes with 7-foot wingspans, right? Um, Average rating of opponent, offensive rating is a 77%. Click the link below on the players, the prospects. Tackling, 66%. Pass rush, 94%. Run defense, 92%. So he's good at stopping the run. He's good at getting to the quarterback. But he's another Max Crosby, a guy with no tackling technique that can't tackle, right? If you can't tackle, what good does it do to get to the damn quarterback, get to the running back if you can't bring him down? So his player comps, are a George Karlaftis out of Purdue, also plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. but he's more of a linebacker type, right? I don't think George Kalafis is a edge rusher, right? He's more of an outside linebacker, and I just don't know how you could be an outside linebacker with a 4.7 40. I mean, bro, I could probably run that right now at 50. I'm just saying. Um, Oregon's Kavon Theobokes, who is now a New York Giant, and Ashton Galati out of Louisville. Those are his pro comps. What do they got to say? So his strengths: nuclear first step explosion and consistently beats tackles hands to the punch. But see, here's the problem with that. If he's so nuclear and fast, are you really going to be able to beat a 6'7", 6'8" tackle with a 7-inch wingspan? Because this man is more than likely going to play with, standing up, already ready. And this dude has to take 2 or 3 steps, probably 2 steps before he gets to this tackle, who's going to be backing up. Um, and I just don't know if that explosiveness and that hands is going to be the same. Anyways, creating immediate angle and collapse the pocket before quarterbacks finish their drops. So we've seen the speed, right? We've seen that the explosive nuclear first step in the get off. But I just don't know if that's going to be enough against elite, best of the best tackles. Heavyweight knockout power with his hands. He jolts blockers backwards on contact, establishing leverage advantages that make recovery nearly impossible for offensive linemen. So basically, right at the point of attack, he's going to get low, get underneath you, come up, bow, get those hands in your chest, knock you off balance, and then they're saying, he's explosive enough to get around you, and you're done. Relentless pursuit motor that treats fourth quarter reps like first series snaps, chasing down scrambling quarterbacks and tracking ball carriers from the backside. Now, I don't know what Max Crosby's 40 time is, but he's long and he's lanky, right? This dude is 6'2", and with 30-inch arms, right? 30-inch arms, you're going to have to be right on top of the guy before you could grab him to tackle him. It's not like Max Crosby where you could dive from 5 yards back and barely grab his shoestring because you tackle like this. I don't know if he's praying. I don't know if he's tackling, but I just don't know, man. I don't know. Um, Technique arsenal featuring a devastating swim move, overwhelming bull rush, an improving counter game that he's begun changing together with veteran savvy. Now, I've seen the swim move. I don't know if it's elite at the next level, right? The bull rush. I gotta see how many 225 reps he puts up, right? In camp. How strong is this dude really physically? Because he looks big, he looks bulky, but he doesn't look like he's in that greatest shape to me, right? He looks a lot thicker, and with the pads on, it could be deceiving. And I've watched a lot of his games, and dude, he is explosive as hell. But the dude on the other side helps him out tremendously, bro. Tremendously. If you have a good guy on the other side that they have to pay attention to, or Chip also, you're gonna get, more one-on-one reps. Elite flexibility and bend for a 270-pound frame, allowing him to corner at extreme angles while maintaining balance and speed throughout his contact. Now, that is one thing I will say that I've seen with Baines, that's the main thing that stands out to me is, his motor, his relentlessness, but the bend, right? The dude is Gumby. Like, you see him come around the corner, and the dude is literally looks like he's driving a motorcycle, right? With your knee in the ground, trying to take a corner. Um, Tremendous athleticism and bend. But again, those short arms, man, no matter how bendy you are, if you got a 6'8", 330, 40-pound tackle that just got to give you a nudge with his power, it's gonna knock you off balance. But he has damn good balance. Um, Weaknesses, durability concern, lingering after sophomore calf injury derailed the entire season, raising limitation questions about holding up through a 17-game season and campaign. That's the problem we have with Max Crosby, right? So a lot of teams are gonna draft this guy anyways. Just like the Raiders did Tyree Wilson, you're gonna take a chance because of what he did in college, because of his explosiveness, because he comes from the U, right? And I think he's got a lot of that going for him. Um, Good, but not elite. Length occasionally allows longer arm tackles to create separation, neutralizing his explosive get off when they land first contact. Now, that is the problem, right? We talk about Ruben Bain's explosiveness, his contact, his first step is elite, and he's strong, right? If he gets his hand on you first, pop, boy, he's gonna put you right. He's gonna put you on your back, or at least put you off balance and give you those speed wobbles. If you ever rode a motorcycle and got some speed wobbles, that's what you're gonna get from the big man. But I have questions about that. I have the weaknesses are major concerns at this next level because one of his weaknesses is longer armed tackles. And it just so happens in the NFL, everybody's a longer arm tackle, unless you're, you know, what you call it, that got drafted to the Patriots last year. But even he had 35-inch arms or 33-inch arms. Ruben Baines are 30-inch arms. That's a big problem. Big problem. Tackling form breaks down in space. That's a huge problem. The Raiders can't tackle, right? Um, and there's a lot of teams in the NFL that struggle with tackling. So what I'm saying is Ruben Bain is definitely shouldn't be anywhere on the Raiders list. Um, Lunging at ball carriers instead of breaking down properly, creating missed opportunities for negative plays. I mean, that pretty much sums up everybody on the Raiders roster, whether it's practice squad, whether it's not. Mainly Max Crosby. I don't know if he was around Divine Diablo too much when he was there for 2 years, but the tackling is just horrible. And if I'm the new coach for the Raiders, I'm spending my first month of the offseason in pads as soon as they can put on pads of just tackling and destroying people. And if you get hurt, you get hurt. Maybe I'm bringing in, maybe you can hire some bodies to come in and take hits from these guys or something. I don't know. But this team needs to learn how to tackle, and it needs to learn how to tackle bad, bro. Over pursuit tendencies, surface when chasing sacks, abandoning contain responsibilities, and opening cutback lanes that disciplined runners exploit. That's another problem we have with Max Crosby, right? He's not staying in his containment. Sometimes, he'll go off on his own and he'll run a stunt and nobody's prepared to cover that backside. And he's not thinking about that because he's thinking about getting to the quarterback or stopping the run. So players that, that go off on their own and do not stay in the scheme, right? Do not stay in their containment and assignment. It's a problem. It's a problem. And that's how big plays are created. And that's how you get your ass beat in the NFL. Counter rush development remains incomplete. Still searching for consistent answers when initially moves stall against anchored blockers. Now, if you're talking about drafting this dude in the first round and you're looking at these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 scouting report weaknesses, I'm saying no, man. I'm saying no. Absolutely 100%. I just don't feel like he's gonna maybe over time, right? Maybe over time with his speed and quickness, if he gets a little bit stronger, physicality. But I think a lot of his shit is there's not too many great tackles in college football right now. Shit. There's definitely not too many coming out of this draft. So you got Ruben Bain, you got Peter Woods, you got Kevin Follick, you got David Bailey from Texas Tech. A kid that's not talked about an awful lot, right? But he runs a 4.52 40. So when you have a linebacker type, linebacker slash edge type that's 250 pounds, 6'3", and runs a 4.5, that's kind of who I'm looking at if I'm going defense, right? Not a guy like Ruben Bain. Um, I'm looking at a David Bailey type. Also, another guy I like on here an awful lot is Texas A&M Cassius Howe. Now I see a lot of people talking about Cassius, not Cassius Clay, but Cassius Howe. Possibly being late round, late first round. A lot of people have him in the second round. I don't understand this. I don't understand it whatsoever. 6'2", same size as Ruben Bain, 248 pounds, about 20 pounds lighter, but he runs faster. He's got just as good as Bend, a dominant freak athlete. He has 11 and a half sacks, one forced fumble, 31 tackles, and 20 of them are solo. This is a dude that gets to the football. This is a dude that makes plays. He finishes plays when he gets to the football. He's not chasing sacks. He's not chasing tackles. He's dominating tackles, right? Height is not good. 40 time is elite. Um, Weight is also up there. He's 84% tackling, 99% pass rush, and 80% on defense. So rated a better pass rusher than Ruben Bain. And if it's me, man, this is the guy I'm looking at. He's been comped to um, Donovan Ezeraka, which is it's not a bad comp. That's not a bad comp at all. So another cat that man. All right, why are we not going back to my screen? Damn it! Fuck piece of shit. Trying on the stupid ass computer today. Come on, man, go back, one more time, go back. There we go. Jeez, Louise. T.J. Parker, a Clemson dog, right? Edge defense. Another guy that's got good speed, good bend. LT Overton. And why am I talking about all these defensive end edge rushers? Because we need somebody on the other side of Max. Malcolm Kuntz looks like he's starting to come around towards the end, of the season. I believe some of it could be the fact that, he just wasn't getting loved by Pete Carroll. He wasn't on the grass a lot. I think that hurt his confidence, right? Pete Carroll talking about, oh, we're just trying to bring him along slowly, and all the other bullshit that Pete Carroll said that was just basically trash. Defensive backs, safeties, corners is something we need um a lot of, right? You got Caleb Downs. It's one of the best safeties coming out in a long, long time. Watching Downs operate on film reminds a lot of people of Troy Polamalu. Now he doesn't have the hair yet. He got a little bit of a fro, but he doesn't have the links and the locks that Polamalu had. Um, and he's got a little bit of Ed Reed in him. Ravens, Super Bowl, um, dominant, right? Dominant. You put those two names, Troy Polamalu and Ed Reed, in the same sentence as Caleb Downs, and that's a first overall, first top 10 pick all day long. So if I'm the Raiders, and you want to help Max Crosby get to the quarterback, and you want to help Tyree Wilson if he's there, and the defensive line, and you want to help Malcolm Kuntz, right? And you want to help these guys succeed as a defensive front or a front seven. First off, you go get Caleb Downs. You just go get Caleb Downs. If you could trade back out of that first overall pick and cop you two more picks somewhere back in the first round, and it's early enough that Caleb Downs is still on the board, you gotta pull the trigger. There's no doubt about it. Um, Another guy is Jermon McCoy, Texas, right? A ball hawk, a dog, a dude that was, I do believe, hurt most of the season. Not great elite speed, not great elite size, but there's still a lot of guys in the NFL like a Meek Robinson, that could do their job. Um, there's a lot of corners that are 6 foot, 6'1", that are still lockdown guys, and definitely one of them. Another guy is Mansur Delane, right? Only 190 pounds, soaking wet, needs to put on some muscle. Runs a 4.4 speed, 40. That's what they have him listed at this, but I believe those are when he got into college of speed. So he might have gained some more speed, but 4.4, I just don't think is good enough. Now it might be good in the slot, right? But I mean, 4.4 nowadays, that's gonna be hard keeping up with guys. I mean, these receivers are so fast. I know you still got guys like Devontae, um, right? Guys like Diggs that aren't the fastest guys in the world. Puka Nakua, right? You got all these cats. Um, but the lane is a dog, bro. It's a dog. When the tape stops rolling, on Mansur Delane, you are left with a study in contrast, right? The instincts leap off screen instantly. And the Raiders need one thing, probably more than a franchise quarterback, a defense that can create turnovers. We have been the last in the NFL for the last 25 years in creating takeaways. They don't draft well. They draft these guys that play bend, don't break, bless you, systems, and they just don't cover. They just don't, right. And the one guy we had, Jack Jones, they let walk out of the building and go to Miami. He's over there doing his thing. Not the greatest, right? But at least he's a guy that's gonna get you some housed interceptions. And besides Jack Jones, I can't even remember when the last corner was that took one back to the house. So there's a couple guys in here like that, and Mansur Delane is one of them. Another one is Avion Terrell. You know, another smaller guy, 5'11", but he runs a 4.39 speed, and you can keep up with a lot of people. Kind of reminds me of that Amik Robinson type, right? Small, gritty, tough, physical. Colton Hood is another guy from Texas. Decent corner. Probably gonna go shit depending on how the draft goes. Maybe late in the first, early second. Um, Kamari Ramsey out of SC, definitely a kid I like. But man, I don't know what it is about these corners. There's not too many that have a lot of speed, except for this next guy, Dylan. Um, the hell's his name? Feinman, the safety out of no other than Oregon, right? 6 foot, runs a 4.3 40. Definitely a great tackler. Could be kind of that sleepy, and I'm not just saying it. because he's a white boy, but could be kind of that sneaky, safety that could probably play in the slot. Definitely hold his own, right? He has the speed, he has the size. 205, only 6 foot. Definitely need to work on that. But tackling wise, 87%. Run defense is a 71. Coverage is a 88. Zone coverage is a 84. And man press is 87. I mean, that's better than what we have right now. And Jeremy Chin is better than what we have right now. Hate to say it, in Isaiah Palomau. I think he needs to be more of a strong safety than a free safety. But I think Dylan could be kind of that Cooper DeJean type, right? He's a big tough guy, got muscles, physical, can cover, has the speed to break on the ball, right? Will take chances, and could be one of those sneaky guys in this draft. And it doesn't hurt that he comes from Oregon, right? It doesn't hurt at all. Um, Michael Taffel is another safety out of Texas. AJ Halsey out of LSU. I really like this kid. No guarantee. I don't believe that he comes out or not, but I really like Halsey. And then, damn, where the hell's he at? Kenneth Aubrey is another decent corner. The fuck is my boy? Oh, here we go. Julian Neal, man. The Arkansas Razorback boy, Julian Neal. He was one of the bright spots on the Arkansas defense that that couldn't stop a nosebleed, right? They were bad, consistently bad, week in and week out. They had one of the best um they had one of the best offenses in all the country, but they just couldn't get a defense out there to flip and do anything. And his scouting report strengths are way better. I believe, if he played at a better school, I guarantee you Julian Neal has a way better year, right? They didn't target him much for a reason. He was shut down. Like I said, was the only one of the only bright spots, if not the bright spot, for the Arkansas Razorbacks. He's built like an NFL boundary corner at 6'2" and 200 pounds, with the wingspan to disrupt passing lanes and jam receivers, attacks the run, which very physical in the run game. He did help us there a lot. Attacks the runs with bad intentions, constantly setting the edge to delivering punishing hits in the alley. Shows remarkable short area burst for his size, able to flip the hips and mirror small receivers through their breaks, which is what you need if you're going to be a man in a man coverage, which we don't run much of that. But hopefully, Pete Carroll is down the road. And like I said, if you see the title, right, first and last, should be the first and last game for Pete Carroll in 2026. He's a textbook tackler who wraps up and drives through contact and lays the wood, man. I've seen Julian Neal try to decapitate some people this year. Hasn't whiffed on a single attempt all year. So no missed tackles for Julian Neal. This is key, right? When a lot of people are looking and saying, damn, the Raiders need a corner, but I'm not sure if Julian Neal is that guy. Wrong, wrong, and wrong. I would take him in the, early in the second, probably not with the 33rd overall pick, depending on which way the board goes. But if there's 3 or 4 corners that go in front of him, I'm taking him. I wouldn't even hesitate. Shows remarkable short area burst. I already read that. Textbook tackler. I read that. Displays exceptional. There you go. Displays exceptional spatial awareness in zone coverage. which the Raiders run zone coverage more than anybody in the NFL right now. Passing off receivers smoothly while keeping his eyes on the quarterback. So if you're looking to go get a corner, man, this is one of my number one corners in this draft. Only because I've watched him every single game more than I've seen anybody else. He has exceptional. He's very physical at the point, at the catching point, using this length to contest throws and separate receivers from the ball. Processes route combinations quickly. Rarely gets caught flat-footed. When receivers stem their routes or use deception, which means, right? He's always on his toes, never flat footed. He's constantly backpedaling, staying with the receiver. Like you said, he can mirror receivers, whether they're big, small. And it's hard to get him, it's hard to get him off of his line, right? He knows where the running back, he knows where the receiver's going, and he can stay with you pretty much through the whole process, right? You're not gonna, try a little hook and go, and he's gonna bite on it, right? He's gonna mirror you, um, and then probably break up the pass like he did for Arkansas all year long. Shows legitimate ball skills when opportunities arise, tracking the football well in high pointed, contested catches like a receiver. Lacks elite long speed to recover against burners, vulnerable against getting sacked vertical on go routes. But he's physical at the line. So if you're playing a bump and run, type, then this man is definitely physical enough. Has the tendencies to peak in the backfield too early, allowing salary receivers to create separation on double teams. That I've seen a couple times. Also, could be fixed. Footwork just gets choppy when transitioning from the backfield to drive. Occasionally stumbling through his breaks on comeback routes, which you know there's a lot of ways to fix that, man. There's a lot of ways to fix that. They have bands now, right? You could tie bands around their legs above their knees. You could tie bands around their ankles and have them do their back pedals like that, right? It keeps their feet spread out, closer together. Makes you use your muscle in your legs and your hips to keep your balance. There's a lot of ways to coach that, but all things that can be fixed. Can be overly aggressive, jumping underneath routes, leaving himself susceptible to vertical stems behind him. I didn't see that too much last year. Maybe early, but it seemed like he got, kind of coached through it. I didn't see, I seen him get two great interceptions. I didn't see him, taking any chances that he didn't at least deflect the ball or come up with it. So you love a guy that's, aggressive and wants to jump underneath routes. As long as he knows is in the playbook and knows the play, then shouldn't have no problem with that, right? Even if he whiffs once in a while, needs to clean up his press technique, often winding in the base and giving receivers free release routes. That's a lot of that is coaching. There ain't much shit you can do if they're playing off the ball. You can only touch it for so long, right? All right, one more position group, and then I'm gonna get the hell off here. I appreciate the 6 people rocking with me. Rocking with your kids eye. Speaking of that, I'm about to get his eye. Who wants to take a dab with me? Take a dab with me. Who wants to take a dab with me? Take a dab with me. Beep, 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 beep. What the hell? What's this screen? The fuck? All right, man. Linebackers. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite part. The Raiders need a linebacker, man. They've needed a linebacker a long, long, long time. They need a fast linebacker. that could get sideline to sideline, right? That could get to the outside hashes, that could cover to the hashes, that could cover in the Tampa too if he needs to drop back into coverage. That could stay with these tight ends. Um, Arvell Reese could be that guy. Come on, man. Where's this shit at? Oh, there we go. I do pick me. Salute to Raider Nation. Happy New Year's Eve, Taylor. I'm picking you. I'm picking you right now. Um, I'll block this damn camera. There we go. There we go. Much better. So linebackers, man. Arvell Reese, we all know is number one and could very well go number one in this draft. If a team scoots up, and doesn't need a quarterback, but thinks he might go second. God family, what's good? Appreciate you, my guy. Happy New Year's to you. But Arvell Reese, man. Hey, let's pull this up. Pull this up. Pull this up. All right, so Arvell Reese. If you don't know, now you know, my ninja. 6'4", good height, right? Runs a 4.52, and those numbers might even go up um, in the combine. um, Arvell Reese is definitely my number one linebacker, only because you can put him at the edge. You can put him at the edge spot. You can put him at the outside linebacker spot. He's pretty decent in coverage. And I think with the 4.5 40 speed, he has the speed to cover, linebackers at the next level. I mean, linebackers, tight ends at the next level, and most running backs. Taylor Green is coming to Las Vegas 2026. Let's go, baby. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. And, I told y'all early in the season that I heard from the little birdie in my ear that there was some people in the Raiders building, some scouts, that were talking about Taylor Green. They liked what he did on offense, facing 6 teams in the top 25 and putting up over 30 points on every one of them. So we have Arvell Reese. He is rated 86th overall and is really the first ranked linebacker. Lord, this thing won't stop. The first ranked linebacker in this draft class. And he's definitely a guy that if you're the Las Vegas Raiders and the Jets want that number one spot and they're willing to give you what you want for that number one spot, you have to take the Jets offer because you're sitting at number 3. And unless the Giants decide to take Arvell Reese, right, which they very well could, but man, they have a very, very solid defensive front. They have a very solid front 7. And a guy like Arvell Reese could change that front 7 and make it elite. But they also need, a lot of help at other positions, a safety, a corner. But I could see Arvell Reese going to the Giants if they end up with the number 2 spot. I could see that being the pick. And then that leaves the question: do you go with the David Bailey? Do you go with the Anthony Hill Jr.? Do you go with my next favorite linebacker in this group? It's Sonny Styles. 243, runs a 4.48. That's elite speed for a linebacker to keep up with anybody, I do believe. And I wouldn't be mad if you picked him up. So, like I was saying before, that I've been saying all year, if the Raiders trade back to the 3rd spot and then um, possibly trade back again and get more picks, bro, you can end up get more picks, trade back that 1st round, give us more picks. That's what I'm saying. Get rid of that 1st overall pick, and you know you end up with guys possibly like a Arvell Reese, and if not, at best, right? I mean, at least you end up. I don't know if I'd take a David Bailey in the top 10, um, but if you're trading back and you get say 14 and 18, right, or 12 and 28, if you're somewhere in that range, shit, you could trade that and move back up and to get your guy. And the defense is where it's at this year, man. Defense is where it's at. Anthony Hill from Texas. If y'all watched that game today, that kid was all over the field. Another solid ass linebacker, runs a 4.5, right? Probably that's probably 3 seconds faster than a not 0.3 seconds faster than a Landon Roberts. Those guys are probably up in the close to the 5 somewhere. You would think, as slow as they've been. But like I said, the next guy up is Sonny Styles. Man, this dude is a game changer. Ohio State guy. Rebel, if we're top 10 or 21st round, let's go, right? Sonny Styles is definitely needs to be in your top 10, in your top 10 of your top 50 draft board if you're the Las Vegas Raiders, in my opinion. He's definitely that type of game changer. I know they're not in the championship no more. Ohio State got knocked out, but it definitely wasn't because of this man. And then another dude that I really, really like is CJ Allen. Watching him for Georgia. You'll be able to see him tomorrow. Shit, I forgot. My camera's not on. Hold up. Damn it. It's not letting me pull my camera up because I gotta stop sharing. Fuck off. Seriously. All right, hold on. There we go. Boom. I'm back. Don't call it a comeback. But CJ Allen, make sure you check out tomorrow against who they facing. Who are they facing? Texas Tech? Um shit. I can't remember. I smoked too much trees. Um Texas A&M, I mean. No, Texas Tech. I believe it's Texas Tech. Georgia and Texas Tech. No, Oregon and Georgia. Is it Oregon and Georgia tomorrow? Somebody let me know. Maybe it's on my phone. Fuck, I don't know. Um, Damn it. Either way, you will be able to check out my man tomorrow. Do his thing. Definitely a physical athlete. Kind of reminds me, I don't want to throw just comps out there. Um, but a guy that plays for the Chargers now used to play for the Raiders. Kind of like that guy. Kind of like that guy. Texas A&M Rebel. You watching the Navy game on the 2nd? Of course, of course. Oregon and Texas Tech. Thank you, Ricky Diaz. Appreciate you. So who's Georgia playing tomorrow? Alabama again? Who the hell are they playing? Anyway, sometime tomorrow you will be able to get to watch CJ Allen, a physical linebacker, run, downhill linebacker, good at stopping the run. I don't really know about coverage wise, um, but everything else is solid as hell, bro. How many times is this ad gonna pop up? It's ridiculous. Fucking ad blockers don't work. You gonna go live on the game? Um, I might pull up for that. When is it? What date? Oh, missing Georgia. Yeah, I'm way off, bro. I can't even remember nothing. Um, that's gonna be a damn good game too. There's some good games on tomorrow, man. I can't wait. But I hate when they do this to me. Thursday and Friday they play games, and then on Saturday I'm waking up thinking it's Sunday and it's Raiders football, and then I get all depressed because I'm like, shit, I gotta wait a whole nother day to watch my Raiders lose. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when they do this shit. Um, But then, if you don't get your linebacker in the first round because we don't trade back and we don't get the picks that we should, um, there's a couple guys like Dante Lawson who might, slip down to the second. Um, Thoran York out of Texas A&M. Whit Weeks, which just a dog, right? That guy that everybody wants on their team. Reminds me of kind of like a scatterboo that would be beating his head up against the wall, kind of that type of crazy ass dude. Um, I wouldn't mind having Weeks at all, right? I wouldn't mind him if he was just your Mike linebacker, and all he's doing is putting people in position and blitzing the quarterback and stopping the run. I'm cool with that as long as he don't have to be in coverage. Sertan Perkins at an Ole Miss, another guy you should keep an eye on and watch. Definitely watch in this game coming up. Iowa, I do believe, right? This Iowa Gabe Jackas, they just played. LSU Harold Perkins, another guy, 6'1", probably not the biggest, right? But that 4.45 speed, I believe, is a guy that could definitely help this Raiders. The Raiders' biggest problem is, I believe, right now, besides the quarterback, which I'll believe is the quarterback, I feel like we have one that could definitely. I think we have a quarterback that could come in better and play better than any of the linebackers we have in coming trying to play Mike linebacker, right? Or any of the young corners we have coming and trying to play a starting corner um, for 17 games. But it's definitely linebacker. Linebacker is definitely up top on that list. And there's a lot, man. There's a lot. There's all 12 of these, right? I mean, all 12 of these guys, you're going to hear a lot of people pick apart, right? Say this guy can't cover, this guy can't tackle, right? This guy, um, his hair's not long enough, right? Uh, whatever it is. But I feel in the top, top 12 linebackers are going to be guys that are going to come in and definitely compete on day one. They might not be starters, but they're going to be guys that's going to get their reps. And then, of course, Candy, long time, LOL. On the second, yeah, I'll probably pull up for a little bit and go live on one of those days. Depending on what time it is. Can't wait till the Rose Bowl, Alabama and Indiana. Yeah, I can't wait till that too. That's what. Is it tomorrow? Or are they gonna make us wait till it should be tomorrow, right? Who you got? Who you got? Alabama or Indiana? Do you think Ty Simpson comes out? Let me know in the comments. Did I click on this already? Yeah. All right. Let's get on this quarterback. So they have Dante Moore at the Tizzity Tiz up. I'm not going by these rankings. It's just something to go off of that has everybody's 40 times speed and all that shit. So Dante Moore, if that's really his speed though, right? If this is really his speed, a 4.940, bro, that's Aiden O'Connell speed. I ain't gonna lie. I think Aiden O'Connell coming out ran a 4.8. It was faster than Patty Mahomes. If you're telling me that, Fernando Mendoza's 4.85 is Aiden O'Connell's speed, and we're gonna waste a first round pick, or not waste, but we're gonna swing for the fences and take a chance at drafting Fernando Mendoza, a first round pick that's really not much more athletic than Aiden O'Connell. It's crazy, bro. Okay, he's more athletic. But he's not any faster. You can put them side by side and let them race. Aiden O'Connell didn't run a 40 time coming out of college, but going into high school, they do have his 40 time, and it was a like a 4.87, I do believe, which Fernando Mendoza they got at a 4.85. Like that's not no lightning speed, right? You're not blowing nobody away. You got Cade Klubnik, um, John Mateer all running, 4.6s, which shit, that's what I ran in high school, was a 4.6. They got 4.65. Um, you got Pavea that runs a 4.59. I mean, that's a little bit more giddy up, right? Gunnar Stockton running a 4.5, 4.6. But you're telling me that Dante Moore runs a 4.9, bro. If this kid comes out of the draft and he does not run a 40 time, and I know 40 times don't matter for quarterbacks, but to me it does. And just for me, you should come out and run a 40 time. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? How dare you disrespect me like that? That's what I'm thinking, bro. Happy New Year, Rick Diaz. Appreciate you, my guy. It's been a minute. Good to see you back in here. Hope all is well. But nah, though, for real. I mean, these quarterbacks, I love the ones that go out there and run 40 times for the fans, right? Just to show them, put on a show because that's what they like to see. Those are the kind of quarterbacks you want on your team, right? But Dante Moore, I've told y'all, and I've told y'all, and I've told y'all, and I've told y'all. I hate to say I told you so. But I've referenced and referenced and referenced. Great Cheese Ball has no 5.0 since high school. Keep it real, bro. What? The Great Cheese Ball? Who's that? um, so we've said this a million times, and I forgot what I was just gonna say because dude was laughing, made me laugh and shit. Um, Dante Moore though. Yes, you could get a 4-year guaranteed contract, right, with a 5th-year option, and it's probably going to be 40 mil somewhere in there, right? 8 mil a season, um, with incentives or whatever, chances to make more. That's guaranteed for 4 years. Or you could go back to college. You could take your chances, of staying healthy, of getting better, or you could take your chances this year and be like, damn, my only competition is Aiden O'Connell, man. Come on. It's a 4.87. I'm telling you, a 4.87. That's what they had him clocked at. I'm not playing, bro. I'm going to make shit up. um, I got to see if I can find it somewhere. I'll find it. Um, Quit distracting me with your comments, bro. Quit distracting me. So, more, there is that possible that he might want more, no pun intended, experience under center, get more starts under his belt. But if you're looking at the draft and you're going, damn, I got Fernando Mendoza, Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik, Diego Pavea. I mean, I might just come out now because if I don't, next year I got Ty Simpson, I got John Mateer, I got Lenoris Sellers, right? You have CJ Carr, you have possibly Manning, you possibly have I mean, the list goes on and on. Way more chances of you not being number one overall next year than you do this year. So that might convince Dante Moore to to come out and enter the draft, and we'll know here in a couple days, right? What do they have? What's the last day they have? The 14th, 17th, somewhere in there. So we'll know within the next week or two what are these guys are doing. Are they coming back? Are they staying? But right now, it is this guy right here, Fernando Mendoza. He is the guy. He is the guy, right? Let's see what he's got. Let's click on old Fernando. Height 6'5". That is up here, right? I don't know what 100% would be for a quarterback because dude's only in the light green. Okay, maybe it's the dark green. I can't really tell. 87%, right? But damn, what do you got to be for a quarterback height rate? Like 7 foot? Fucking, I've never seen a 7 foot mobile quarterback or even athletic quarterback in my life. So weight 225. It's in the green, right? 40 time. It's down here in the orange. 45%. We talked about his speed. Overall rating, he is an 89.5 out of 100. Defense rating 75. Release speed 92%. This is a very, very high release speed. I like it. Short release or short passing 88%. Medium passing 97%. Long passing 100%, which means he is the bomb, dropping dimes, dropping in bucket balls. Rushing and scrambling 82%. Kind of like a Patrick Mahomes, right? Patty Mahomes, his 40 time is up there. So also 4.9s, four eights. But he has that breakaway speed, man. He has that, elusiveness where if he gets a step or two on you, he can outrun a lot of guys, right? Maybe not in a 40-yard dash with nobody chasing him, but when you're being chased, it's a whole nother story. And he's also, he's got those slippery hips and elusiveness. He knows when to run, how to make guys miss. And I don't know if you put Fernando Mendoza up there with Patty Mahomes, but they have him scrambling ability at 82%, which is a little crazy to me. But let's get in the good things, right? Scouting strength. Throws with surgical precision between levels, threading windows that don't exist for quarterbacks lacking his touch and anticipation on intermediate routes. This sounds like an Aiden O'Connell. Why do you think you don't do drills at the combine? Because Purdue AOC rushed for minus 270 yards in 6 years at Purdue and was sacked 53 times. I mean, I know the stats, bro. I know the stats. He's not mobile. Nobody said he was an athlete, right? But what Aiden O'Connell is what I just read and what I'm going to read probably on all the rest of these. He's not 6'5". He's what, 6'3", 6'4". He's there, right? He's there. He's got the arm strength. He can throw with precision. He can definitely, throw with anticipation on intermediate routes and, deeper routes. But when have you used the depth chart feature in NFL Draft Buzz after the mock draft? Question. No, no. I don't do mock drafts on here. I just do it to talk about the players because I could look at NFL, ESPN where they have these guys ranked, but it just doesn't give descriptions and all this scouting reports like this shit. But I don't do mock drafts. I do them on PFF. But no, I have not used the depth chart feature. He's my height, I believe, 6'4". But yeah, so Um, and as far as the sacks for Aiden O'Connell, obviously he didn't run the ball right, and those 74 yards were because the 53 sacks. Most of those were, a 5 yard loss here. Aiden O'Connell does take a 7 step drop on almost every one of his plays with the Raiders. I don't know if he did in Purdue, but I know out of the even out of the gun, he would still take a 3 to 5 step drop and backpedal when he was throwing. There's a reason why he has a lot of those. And no, he didn't have positive yards rushing, but he did have some positive plays rushing. If you go back and watch some of the tape at Purdue, there was times where he scrambled and picked up 10 or 12 here. Um, not huge plays, right? And it's not even Jared Goff's, style. Um, and no, he's not mobile. And yes, he scares the hell out of me every time he scrambles, steps out of the pocket. But he's getting better at last year he was getting better at throwing on the run, turning his hips, getting your hips around, throwing the ball. And if he could just continue to do that and get better every year, I think they'd be all right. um it lets you see free agents after you draft them and put together a depth chart. Add Malik Mills, Romeo Dobbs after the draft and put together a squad. You should check it out. Even has multiple drafts. All right, we should check it out. Um, so it lets you add free agents after you draft and put together a depth chart. Nice. I'm, bro, I'm with you on the Malik. I'm with you on the Malik Willis. If the Raiders do or do not draft a quarterback in the first round, I still believe that you know Malik Willis would be serviceable, definitely serviceable as a bridge or whatever you want, to be that guy next year, to be a starter. I believe he's done enough in the NFL to earn him a starting role or at least to compete for a starting role. And I don't know if he's ever going to have that there in Green Bay. I think they pretty much, Love is the guy. I don't know if Love is the guy sounds right in a sentence, but um I like Malik Willis, man. I like Malik Willis. He showed a lot. And shit, Romeo Dobbs wouldn't be that wouldn't be a bad idea either. I would not mind picking up Malik Willis and Romeo Dobbs in this offseason. But um shit, we could check it out. Let's check it out right now. Let's check it out right now. I'll do one real quick and then I'm gonna get off here. Mock draft simulator. Do I have to do a whole 7 round mock? Let's go Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go. Fuck it, 7 round. Let's go 99 speed. Random for the computer. Let's give them 3 choices. Regular trades on. Computer trades. Standard Jimmy Johnson. How computer picks. Consensus. Draft Buzz rankings. Let's go with consensus. Let's go with Fitzgerald Spielberger. I think the Jimmy Johnson one is a little washed. Little washed. Where's the start button? The fuck? Show multi uses. This one. Aha. The Raiders are on the clock. All right, who we picking? Do I have trades on? Oh, let's start draft. I know we're gonna get all kinds of shit. Let's just start and see what we get. And the Jets. The Jets would like to give us they pick third, pick 37. They would like to give us a first and a fifth, and Michael Carter the second. Okay, that's not really the what I was expecting. Thought I was gonna get a better offer than that. Let's see what else we got. The Colts. Wow. They don't even have a pick this year to give up. Oh, they want to give us a second. Wait, all this year? All right. They want to give us a second pick 49. They want to give us a fourth pick 115. They want to give us a 5 at 157, a third at pick 80, and a 2027 first round pick. A 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That's hilarious, bro. Because if you follow this channel, I just got done saying 2 nights ago that don't be surprised the situation the Colts are in with Daniel Jones if Riley Leonard doesn't come out and just light some people's balls on fire in this, in this game coming up this Sunday, right? Don't be surprised if the Colts throw everything they got in some players to try to move up in this draft. And here we are on Draft Buzz. And they're trying to move up in the draft. But I'm gonna have to reject this one. Can I go back? What the hell? Okay, I don't like this. I can't go back. Well, that just fucked up everything. Okay, we're not doing a mock draft today. Damn it. Let's just click yeah and try this. Do not click over when you do stupid mock drafts. Start. This could take forever. We are on the board. Ruben Bain, Caleb Downs, Dante Moore, Peter Woods. I mean, this is going to be stupid and cliche as hell, but I don't really want to do this mock draft. I don't want to do this. This is going to take forever. We need to speed rush this shit. All right, who we got? Mago. Oh, okay, at 6. Ruben Bain at 7. Pleasant. Peyton Willis. Jason Arnold. Blake Miller, tackle. Edge rush. Edge rusher. Corner. Tackle. Corner. Receiver. Denzel. Oh, wait. Boston went where? 18. Did I not pick super fast? All right. Just taking too long, bro. Just taking too long. This gotta go faster than that. Let's not do mock draft today. This is the slowest site ever. I gotta wait, bro. We gotta wait to do a mock until we gotta wait to do one until let's put it on warp speed. Oh wait. Is warp the fastest? Yeah, let's try that. One more time. See if it goes faster. We really gotta wait to do a mock draft though until we know who's coming out. Because I know Dante Moore's there's a very big chance he's not even gonna be in there in the talks. And if that's the case, then some bitch. Let's just go 4 rounds. Let's go 4 rounds. Start. All right, the Minnesota Vikings want to give us a second in 2027, a fourth in 2027. Yeah, y'all are crazy. Shut up. Get the hell out of here. Next offer. Seattle wants to give us a first and 27, a fifth, a seventh, and the 32nd pick in the NFL draft. Damn, the 32nd pick. They're trying to say Seattle won the Super Bowl. So just so you know, NFL mock draft buzz thinks Seattle wins the Super Bowl. 32nd, a one next year, a five and a seven. It's just not gonna get it done. It's just not gonna get it done. We are on the clock. I'm going Dante Moore. Ooh, that's warp speed. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. All right, 3 trade offers. Seattle wants to give us 32nd for what pick? Um, I don't know. They want to give us round 1 next year, round 5, and 32nd, 6-2-13. I don't know. This sucks, bro. This mock sucks because if you don't take the offer, you can't go back if you don't like the other offers. And that doesn't make sense. It's got a good trade value. But let's go next. The Falcons want to give us pick number 12. Why does it say 7-278? That's not right. A first and a fourth. No. Baltimore Ravens. No. So that's a lot of damn picks we got. Offered for what? The second? What do you mean on second pick? Mansur, Tyson, Cornell, Pay. No, there's no way. Who you got here? Who the hell you taking? McCoy? Mansur? Who's the top linebacker? Spencer Fano. Man, I kind of like Fano right here. Bailey, linebacker, edge. Avian Terrell. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Man, oh man, oh man. I'm going to take Mansour. We need a slot, even if we don't. I'm going to take Mansour there. Even if he's not the guy. How am I on the clock again? The fuck? Did I pick every team? What the hell happened? I don't know. There's no way all these dudes are still on the board. Something got jacked up. But if they were, I mean, damn. Damn. I don't know what I did. But shit, let's get our receiver now. Yeah, we definitely fucked this draft up. Spencer Fano too. 2 trade offers. Well, there ain't no way this draft went like this. Next offer. 18-10. 6th and the 7th round in 2027 from the Bengals. Naughty, no. What's going on here? David Bailey? All right, that was stupid as hell. So somehow we got Fernando Mendoza. Oh, that's just That's what I thought, man. We picked for other fucking teams. I'm retarded. It's late. I'm going to bed. I don't know what I'm doing. We will not do no more mock drafts ever again until we know who's coming out. Um, but man, happy New Year to everybody. I appreciate everybody pulling up. I just want to go over the roster, talk about it like we did. Look at some of the positions we need. Linebacker looked very, very well. Defensive back, you know, depending on where we at, depending on where we end up in this draft. Um, John says corner. I like that, but I really like what I see from Darian Porter. Right, I think if we get the right defensive in here, if we go get a Brian Flores, if you go get a Jesse Minter, right, if you decide to go defense, if you're the Raiders, I believe Darian Porter is going to be a standout guy for the Las Vegas Raiders. You know, probably not just right off the rip, but I think he does good enough next year to hold his side down, right? And if you bring back Eric Stokes, with a better defensive scheme, whether it's Patrick Graham or not, I don't believe it's going to be. You know, I think we have some young corners in there. Kai Blue Kelly, you could probably put him at the slot. His physicality and his tackling. And if he can't hold up there, which I thought he should have been there all year, you still have guys like Decamarion Richardson that still runs a 4.3, 4.4 40. He's what, 6'2", has a long wingspan, right? Has those long arms. What his deal is with Pete Carroll, I don't know why they're I guess he thinks he was drafted in the third round. He needs to play special teams, but it's Devin White, Unleashed Raider. Appreciate you with the $5 holler. It's Devin White's nephew, and you would think Pete Carroll would give him a little bit more leadway and put him in some games because when he was out there, the little bit of burn he did get this season, I thought Decamarion Richardson looked okay. So, um, happy New Year to everybody. Appreciate y'all. We will be back on again tomorrow, as always. I don't know which college football game I'm gonna go live for. Let me know which one you want to see me go live for. Let me know in the comments after this live, or just let me know now. Which game you want to see me go live for. What quarterbacks do you want to watch us break down? I know a lot of people are looking at that uh, Indiana Alabama game, and more than likely, knowing me, I mean, what else do I got to do? More than likely, I'll be up first thing 12 o'clock. We'll probably run that Oregon game because I really want to watch Dante Moore. So pull up with me if you want to go over some quarterback shit. See what I see, hear what I see, and we'll break that down. And shit, you might just end up getting all three games from me tomorrow. Who knows? But I appreciate you. Like, subscribe, follow if you're not already. If you're watching this later, leave a comment. Let me know. Do the Raiders take a chance on Fernando Mendoza or wait till next year? That'll be the live tomorrow. Pull up. Peace. Much love. Appreciate y'all. Athens Navy game on the 2nd. Yeah, we'll do that too, man. We'll do that too. We will do that too. Peace. Much love.